Well, uh, oh, I'm echoing. I don't really want to see the echoing thing. Okay, we'll turn that off. That should be fine. Well, lucky that no one's joined because I was actually making the tea and got started a little bit later than planned. So first things first, this is the print that I'm giving away. As you can see, let me just. It's got a little goonie on it, and that's the one that I'm going to be giving away. So fingers crossed. Let me just. Sometimes this just messes me around. So yeah, that is the print we're going to give away to somebody, if anyone actually watches the stream today. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do. So I've just got the last two because I was checking the quality of a few things. Obviously, look, the same paints, but if I actually hold these up, you should be able to read that. Uh, oh, I think so. There you go. Look at that quality there. So the quality's there. Same as always, guys. Pretty much those two colours. For this particular paint, probably going to be using a tiny bit of yellow ochre, and we're going to be using some oranges and yellows and stuff anyway, just because we're actually going to do the Azariel up in this corner. As you can see, we're going to do the front and the back. Obviously, like I sketched out earlier, because you don't really want to watch me sketching these types of things out. It's alright if I'm in a sketchbook, that's fine. But usually when I'm sketching for this type of thing, I kind of want it to be a bit more accurate and stuff, and I didn't want to sort of like fuck around making mistakes with on stream, and just basically drawing the time out. So we're expecting probably like a 3-hour stream, and hopefully this will actually turn out okay. So there's a little bit that you can't see. I can see that already, but that should be fine. I'll just move it over a little bit, maybe enlarge it. It should be fine. I can actually do. We can actually paint one at a time, but I'm actually going to do both at the same time, because some of the values and some of the colours are actually going to be the same anyway. And so let's get started. Obviously, first things first is going to be the swish. Same palette as always. We kind of want a couple of like little. I kind of wanted to do to show you people watching about the salt. So I'm just going to use like regular salt. And by the way, today I'm using a thing called Droid. What the fuck's it called? Droid something OBS. Droid Cam. Oh, I should have remembered that really. So I'm using Droid Cam OBS today because I wanted to get a better quality sort of stream out. And the last one wasn't particularly great in terms of quality. So I just really wanted to get a better one today. So you can see I'm just using the rest of this red that was there. And you can see it's actually got like a few grains in it. Do you know what? I'm actually gonna embrace that. And just we'll just embrace that and sort of like get a sort of like a nice grainy swish going. I'm probably gonna make some of these colours again, and just use them all up right now for this swish. And hopefully this will work out well, and we get some nice contrast on the first swish pattern, to so that the salt is going to work as well. So most of these are going to be, most of this is quite dark, so I'm not going to worry too much about a lot of stuff. We're actually going a lot larger this time as well. And we get some nice we're going a lot larger. So this is actually A3, and I'm not even going to worry about that little bit right now, because I wanted the first switch to just be really loose, and I'm going to get, you can see the ring. The ring, this is I never expected that actually. That was quite an unexpected thing. So I'm just going to put some salt on it now, and then we're going to get the hair dryer on this as well now, just to sort of like, actually I'm just going to leave it there a little minute just to let the salt sort of like soak in. I've got the hair dryer down here. So yeah, I've got a new camera. Sorry, I've got a new setup, and that's why you're seeing this ring pattern on the wetness. It's because there's an actual light around here to try and get a bit of a better picture for anyone watching. I'm actually using Droid Cam. It's like a plug-in for OBS, so that's how I'm actually using my phone as the webcam now. And I might have to get a new phone because the screen's cracked and stuff like that. But I'm just testing that out today and seeing how that's going to work. Hopefully, it's going to be a lot better than a lot better quality than we've been going with on the last couple of streams, which were actually really bad quality for me, I thought. So. Oh, we don't want that sound, do we? That's going to be annoying. some of this salt off. You can see it. I'm just gonna rub some of this off before I start actually painting. Because I don't want it on there. Oh. That's fine. I'm just going to do this real loose, that's why I'm like not caring right now what I'm doing with that. And we'll get this started. So the first part I just used a mop brush, which is a Squirrel. Sorry, from Rosemary co-wash. That's what I used to do, the initial wash. Sometimes I paint with this, sometimes I don't. So it just really depends. And this one's probably gonna get some paint lifted off of it in the rear bit here, because that's gonna be lighter. But the rest I'll probably just pick out with acrylics and stuff. As always, I've got the list down here of the colours that I'm going to be using, so for anyone that's interested, that's there. And yeah, again, same sort of colour set as last time, same palette I should say as last time, because that's how we do. We just use that same sort of palette set for these types of ships, because that's the sort of colours these. If I was doing a Galente, I'd probably drop in a bit of green or something like that. But for these, it's fine to just have that sort of that set. Do you know, I've got trying to use this up, and it's probably not going to really work. So I'm just going to clean this up. So I've got another little palette there for a different colour or wash, and then I kind of want to. I want this a little bit browner, just because, and a little bit lighter. Even though we're going to be using it quite a light colour, I kind of want to just use this. So a little bit of yellow ochre is going into this, just to help sort of. Not a lot, and if you look, like basically sometimes I don't use a lot of paint at all, just very sort of like little amount, and I'm not going to worry about stuff that drops on the canvas, or I should say paint, because I can just do that. And you can see that's probably gone a little bit too, that's a little bit too yellowy, so we just want a bit more burnt umber in there. And you know, like a little bit of this. This is Mayan Orange. This is a Da Vinci. No, sorry, Daniel Smith's. So just going to use a little bit of that, and hopefully that'll get the colour that I want out of here, which I'm probably going to end up dropping in here as well, just to get, that's probably the colour I want right there. So like a little bit of ultramarine blue is going to have to go into this one. Not a lot, just a little bit, and we'll just put a little bit in there as well, just to give it a bit more like just to darken it up a little bit. You see how that works straight away. And with this one I want to just put a bit more water in that one. Not a lot, and because I want it a little bit more watery, I'm going to go again here. I think I actually want a bit more blue in that. So I'll just take it from that little bit there. That is the colour I want. Bit more water. Now the top Azariel from the back it's got a slightly different colour. So I'm going to start with the one on the bottom, because that's this colour that I want to sort of like use, and I think I am going to end up doing these two differently now. I can see that this bit's a bit reddish, but this bit here has got the colour that I want, so I'm just going to do it in a little block like that, because I'm going to come in at some point later and there's this bit, I want this colour, all of this back bit here. Although most of this is going to be, it's going to change over time. I've still got quite a lot of this colour that I want to use on the rest of this particular one. So you can see it's quite watery or quite transparent, and that's good because that's exactly what I want. Because it will dry a lot. It should dry a lot lighter, I should say. And I've gone a bit overboard there. I didn't really need to go that far because this colour actually doesn't really go all the way. And that's pretty much that colour. Now we've got a little bit more red in some of these areas, and I kind of want to reflect that. So I'm gonna apply. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this with a little bit more of that Mayan orange, and I'm gonna make it real watery here. And that's where we're gonna do some of this line work here. It's gonna come in. And hopefully that will blend a bit better later on. This goes like a different colour grey. There's some red here. This one's very red, this bit here. Yeah, you know, you can kind of see it, but it doesn't really show up that well. And obviously I'm trying to keep it quite loose as well, so we want a little bit of red here. Yeah, quite loose, and sort of like it accentuates some of the areas that we want to sort of like highlight, and then not really worry about some of the other areas. So a lot of this is going to go, you can see it's quite dark, so a lot of that's going to go quite dark. Yeah, I'm gonna try and this one I'm gonna just do black, and then I'll bring out like a lot of the red with the acrylic, and you'll see what I mean later when I start working on that one. Right now I need a darker sort of grayer colour. So more blue into here. Because that's where we get our blacks, or our darks. This is where we get our dark colours from. I'd say that's probably going to be, I mean, that still looks a bit brown, and I kind of want to, okay, I kind of want a blue colour for this top one. Again, what will happen is I can water this down quite a lot, and then over time it's going to dry out anyway, which gives me a lot more room to mess around with these other ones. So for now I'm just going to kind of keep it like quite simple, and just try and bring in this sort of grey look that most of this one has. But obviously again I want it in a really sort of, I'm trying to go for that sort of like really loose look, and it should all, you know, I should be able to be quite liberal with it because it should all dry a lot lighter. And again, a lot of this area is sort of just washed with this sort of greyish. Again, just trying to keep it sort of really loose, not worrying too much about DL. So I'm going to come in now with this one. I'm going to swipe away from this side. Let's just pick out that DL there. I've actually rushed this a little bit because I want to get that sort of like real sort of loose look. So I don't know if rushing it is going to help me, or just being patient and just sort of like placing those colours where I actually want them is going to help me. In the past, rushing usually works, or sort of rushing but not really caring about where the paint goes. At least not at this stage anyway, because a lot of anything that I need to tidy up I should be able to fix here. Like, so for example, there's bits here that I don't really want to be that colour, but it's okay. We can go back over that, like a lot of these details here. And on this back bit here. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the colour to where I want it to be darkest. And yeah, but I know this is quite watery, so I don't want to leave too much in the way of splodges. And I think this top one might actually be a lot easier to do than this bottom one, because there's actually less sort of detail there, compared to what I'm going to be doing with this one. I mean, this one's got a lot of dark areas here that I'm sort of like not really paying attention to right now when I do this, when I'm doing this. But that's because I kind of want an underlying tone on this bottom piece. Hey guys, let me just say hello. Yeah, it's the I'm doing the Azariel, I think they call it. So we'll see how this one turns out. I mean, so far the others have been pretty have come out pretty decent. So I'm hoping this one does as well. But again, I'm kind of trying to keep this one a bit looser. Um, I can sort of like see that, so in that regard, like some of the details are not going to match up really. But we shouldn't really be caring at this point, because we're really just trying to focus on creating the illusion of what we want, not actually what we want. If that makes sense, we want it to look like what it is without realistically looking like what it is, you know. Oh, I know who that is. Lounge. Yeah. No work today, mate. So I can see there's a little bit of dark colour there, there, and I'm probably going to stop applying paint to this at some point, and figure out where we're going. So we've got this bit up here. Oh, you're not working. You're still doing the same job though. I'm going to go with this bit up here. So, because this bit looks like it's going to be a lot of highlights and just going to be brought out a bit more with that. And same with this bit. Oh, okay, that could be interesting, I guess. You're not. What are you making? Big. Yeah, well, you're saying that to someone who's painting a spaceship on live stream, so you know. Again, I've already lost some detail here with the pencil. But again, like I said on previous streams, this is just a background anyway, so we're not really too worried about the stuff right in this back sort of area. I do want to sort of like preserve some of the lighter colour here because I can see that that's going to need some correcting later. There's a big splotch of black there, and then this bit's got a little bit of a split. Okay, so yeah, I'm happier with that than I was. But yeah, this is all sort of like dark colours, but I kind of want to really preserve the lights here a minute, or at least some of them for later, because you can see this is going to dry a lot lighter anyway, and yeah, that can go. I can see this one can go like this now. And again, I'm going to just okay. there is a lot of detail in this, and I'm starting to think I might have taken on a bit more than I can chew. I can see that here is going to be, that's probably the wrong bit, so this goes up. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, yeah, there's quite a lot of detail in this one that's causing me, I should have probably marked it out a lot better, but like I said, I did kind of want to keep it very, very loose, um, which is, it's okay, but okay, let me just put some marker sort of lines on here. There's, let's go with this plate. So this plate's got a little bit there, but yeah. So we've got a little, just so I can define some of the bits later on is why I'm placing some of this colour. Um, and that's probably going to get, that's going to cause me some pain later on. Okay. And I'm kind of like, I kind of can't figure out. Okay, so this bit's got a little bit. Okay. It should be going straighter upper. And yeah, I didn't really define this that well. So sometimes when you're doing a sketch, you should probably spend a bit more time sketching it out, or some of the details that you think is going to be more important. I obviously haven't done that in this one, which is causing me a problem now, because I'm trying to pick out the details I wanted to focus on, and it's a bit impossible. But it's alright, because what it is, I think, is where I've tried like add in. There we go. So now we're getting there. Yeah, it's a big ship. It's one of the big ones. Um, I haven't actually painted this one before. I have painted a couple of the other Titans, but not this one. Um, obviously, there's a lot of detail in them, and I was kind of hoping that I could just wing it with a bit more, with a looser sort of like colour. I know it's not gone particularly well, but that's nice. It's nice because the other couple of streams that I did went sort of like really, really well. So it's nice to have a bit of a challenge and a bit of a struggle. Um, you know, so this one, a bit more blue again. This is going to be weird because I'm actually going to do. Oh, let's see. I'm actually going to do the camouflage on here, and hope that it all goes well. But I think that's the problem sometimes, is if you sketch the camo onto your. Oh, that's a bit of salt there. If you sketch the camo onto your onto the picture, it's gonna cause a little bit of a problem if you're painting from reference and then trying to be accurate at another point, because well, for obvious reasons, really, isn't it? You know, so. Some of this I'm just gonna make up, because you know, we don't really need to be that accurate, and I did say I wanted to keep it quite loose. No, this is actually like quite interesting, because there's not a lot of this is more lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm just flicking a little bit of paint on. I just kind of want to build a little bit of texture there. This, when it dries, I'm hoping I can see like a lot of camo here. And again, there's a big black spot there which I kind of like haven't painted in. This is why sometimes I go with the black sort of first, just so I know where all my sort of details are going to be. And that sort of like helps me out a lot. These are, I'm just going to put these in like this. And I'm probably going to come back later to sort of like finish some of these colours off. La Croissant, that's right, yeah, the Croissant Titan. I'm actually not too happy with the way that this front one's gone. But I'm hoping that given time, that can be rectified. Oh, thanks, Bex. Do you play Eve yourself? I'm actually giving away a print today, so for those who are still here at the end of the stream, I'm giving this print away. Which, if you're a goon, it's got a little goon Titan. I thought I'd make a bit of a difference, because I was given an extra one at the printers, so I've labelled it 101 of 100, because I should only have 100. But yeah, I've got 101, so I'm giving this away on this stream today. Perfect. Yeah, so fingers crossed that goes to somebody who's actually a goon, because somebody has said that they're going to try and win it, and then they're going to burn it on their live stream, which to be honest it'd be amusing, but you know, a bit disappointing as well. So I'm just trying to get my dark colour now. a minute for so I can bring out some details and stuff like that. And I probably yeah, well, I don't know why, but I think I remember like I've never been in goons. I've known a few, and they've always been pretty sound to me. I know people who've run afoul of them, especially when they used to do Hulkageddon, when that was a thing, um, running around high sec and blapping poor miners and that. So I do get it to a degree, but people have got to remember that we are playing a game, and you know it is it is one of those things. But personally, if I didn't enjoy shooting at goons so much, I'd actually probably join them because they do seem like one of the better groups. Um, like they seem to have less inclination to worry about what you're doing in the game. You see that splatter I accidentally did that's gone across there? I'm actually just going to leave that um, because why not? In fact, yeah, we're bringing some texture and stuff. Um, yeah, people do like to 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 hate on the goons. I'm not really sure why. Um, do you know what I'm gonna do? I haven't done this for a while. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, and to be honest, like going to Goon Space, um, I see the way they're organised and stuff like that. Going to Goon Space, they're like really, really slack, really, really relaxed. They laugh at people who get caught out. They talk to you in local, and they'll come after you and like get little gangs or solo and stuff like that. And it's great. It's a great place to go because it's just like it feels more like people are playing the game and stuff like that. But when they get like super serious about something, like if they don't want anyone in their area, it's nearly impossible to get in. There's camps everywhere, and they're like min max insta lock camps, and you just can't get in. If they don't want you in their space, you ain't getting in. But for the most part, they're just like they're just playing the game, and I've caught a few people there before, and they're like, oh nice catch, damn I can't believe this, or like so it's been really really good there. Like some of their pets are a bit I've been a bit awkward when I've killed them. They get really like shitty with me and send me bad messages and that. I'm like, oh, alright, whatever. But usually the goons and stuff like that, or in it, group, some of the larger groups that actually enjoy PvP are like really really good, really really good when it comes to like just messing around and having fun in general. Uh, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh, that might be interesting actually. Yeah. So you're gonna laugh at this now. I actually this is all I was looking for was just a brush because I have actually seen people use these on comic book paintings and stuff like that, and I just wanted to do that. I do it before. I'm just trying to add a bit of texture into the paint. Later on, I'm probably gonna apply some background here, some like more contrast basically to bring it out. Dominic's are really difficult. I've tried Dominic's before, and yeah, I think I did one that was kind of like a reddish color, and people said it looked like sausages, um, which was nice. You know, it's always nice to have um, people compliment your artwork in such a way. Um, no, it does look a bit like sausages. But I've done this one. It was the glitter and dream one. And I'll show you the one that I quite liked it. I don't. Yeah, it should be. I liked it. It was a headhunter one, basically. Uh, it was that one. And people said it looked like sausages, and I get it. I mean, I quite liked it. I like the way that light sources came out and stuff. But oh, you know, you can't win them all. You know. So we're just gonna lower the volume down a little bit and bring out the hair dryer again. So oh, sorry about that. I'm not very, I'm quite new to Twitch, so it, what's the word? Yeah, I'm quite new to Twitch, so I don't know how to, to do the pictures in the chats and stuff like that. It's a bit complicated. So we're already an hour in, and I'm sort of like nowhere in, and it's kind of like wow. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the dark color now because I really want to pick out some of the details on this bottom one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on this one for now, and we go from that one. Um, I'm actually so I'm using OBS, but I'm using some software called it's Droidcam. So it's actually giving me a better picture than previously, than previous sort of like what's the word? Than I had previously. So I'm quite happy with it. And this is sort of like a test at the moment, really. So yeah, it's called Droidcam. It's an OBS plugin. You can get a standalone one as well. So this is like using the Droidcam through my phone to so I'm using that as a webcam, and then it's streaming it. And I've actually got it set to. It cost me like €15, and I've actually got it set to like a higher resolution. So like before on previous streams, it was like really bad quality, and now the quality is a bit better, and you get to see all of the mistakes I don't want you to really see. You know, all the mistakes that I'm actually correcting afterwards, after the stream, and I'm like, oh god, I can't believe I did that mistake and stuff like this, you know. So again, I really want to be a lot looser than I am. With these types of things, but it's it's so it's a lot easier to say. It's a lot easier said than done, you know, because you see so much sort of like details that you sort of like want to pick out. Um, and some of these details I want to be like really tight with, and then other details not so much. So this actually goes all the way. Okay. Uh, yeah, and there. Yeah, so it's kind of like irritating in some ways. Um, and then this is just gonna go. I'm probably gonna put some more dark color on this at another point. But for now, I'm just gonna sort of do it like this, because I can see where this bit is actually a dark color, and this bit goes up like that. Can you see like that these sort of like details were important to me, and that's why I really should have started off with a dark color. Oh. Yeah, but you know, because I was doing a. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Actually, I could have actually done that on a on a thing, couldn't I? But I didn't, because I'm not that bright, and I'm still new to this streaming stuff. Do you stream then loud? It's crazy. Like so many people like know like shitloads about streaming, and they don't actually stream. I guess they're like tech heads or whatever. I don't know if you stream or not. I've never seen you talk about streaming. Ah, okay. Well, that must have been quite recent then. I mean, I've got streams from like 10 years ago. When I used to do like I was you know just trying my hand at solo PvP and stuff. And then the most recent ones are just there now, you know, from the painting. Because I just wanted to sort of like I get a lot of people asking me how long does it take you and stuff like that. Um, Realistically, I kind of I like to take a bit longer than I take with the ones that I do on stream. Um, because it takes me a lot of time to do some things, and then it takes you a bit of time to figure out. Like right now, I'd rather let it dry naturally, and sort of like been looking at it, or you know maybe studying the actual ship a bit more, and sort of like getting a better idea. So I want to be going this way, but I can't really paint that way. It's kind of awkward to go that way with this with well, just it's just awkward for me to go that way for some reason. Now I want to isolate. There's a bit here that I want to isolate, but I can't quite place it because what I've done is I've missed out by just going straight in earlier with a lighter color. I've missed out some of these details, and I've actually painted bits that shouldn't have been painted, which is causing me an issue because now I can't see the actual pencil mark here. Yeah, I've started try. I'm trying to do regular streams, but yeah. I mean, I didn't actually paint anything for oh god, like about 6 months, and then I started doing these streams again. Well, I started doing these streams. I know a lot of people have suggested them and stuff like that, but it was more about you know, like it was more about time, being able to find the time and stuff like that than anything else really. And I'm just sort of like gone brutal here with some of these with some of these darker colours, because I just want them to sort of like really be quite dark at the moment, because I know they're gonna dry lighter anyway. Apart from this one here, I want this to be okay. Okay, we'll just leave that like that, and down. Yeah, I kind of want this to be quite dark on its own sort of like way. And again, there's another bit here that's come out. You can see there's that bit here, and that's why I'm getting this sort of like weird shape that I don't want. It's because I haven't really blocked that in properly. Um, and you know, here we go again. What I was saying, I wanted to keep it kind of loose, and yet here we are again, where I'm trying to tidy up, sort of like some of the finer details without actually doing it properly. So I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna leave a very little gap there, and a very little gap here, even though there's a much larger one there. I'm probably. I mean, I'm an hour. I'm an hour in, not including sketching. So I've been streaming the whole time. So we'll say like, um, I guess, I guess with just one of these, I'll probably be like 2 or 3 hours on stream. But realistically, there's probably going to be like time afterwards where I'm going to be picking out some little details that have annoyed me, or I've missed out. You know, going over stuff, rechecking stuff, um, and just sort of like figuring out where I went wrong or what I wanted to add, or you know, anything sort of anything like that really. I'm expecting to be about 3 hours on this stream, and hopefully get at least one of these Titans to actually look how I want it to look. Um, so I've got. Oh, okay, so I can sort of like, the more black I bring in, the more I sort of like figure out where I am. Um, and I say black, but we don't actually use black. Uh, so oh, so I'm probably about. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But I'm probably about a third of the way in. But that doesn't include sketching time, and then I'll be honest, sometimes just finding like the reference pictures as well, because I basically do most of my stuff is, well, all of my stuff is based on reference really. Um, when it comes to Eve ships, uh, this is a lot wider than I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna sort of bring it out again. And this is where sometimes this bit of texture and stuff comes in, because it gives you like some free texture basically. It does, doesn't it? I do like the malediction, but I mean it does look like a bit of a giant malediction. Um, but that's because we haven't got any of the major sort of like uh, details going in just yet. Like basically by the end of it, it should look uh, what it's supposed to look like. Fingers crossed. You know, sometimes we can't win them all. I have done paintings before where I was completely unhappy with the result. Um, Again, background stuff, so I'm not going to try not to worry too much about that, the detail on that. But yeah, it does actually look a lot more nimble than it is, you know, like most Titans. But yeah, it does look quite fast, and you'd think, oh, it's Angels, you know, it's going to be a bit nippy, isn't it? You know, and it really, really isn't. Have you ever? I don't know if any of you've got a Titan or used a Titan, but a line in anywhere with a Titan is like, well, it takes forever. Even if you got like full full set of inertial stabs and everything on it, it just takes an absolutely mind-boggling amount of time. So I need to make some more dark colour here because we are sort of running out. Just want to add a little bit of brown again to that mix. Probably end up with a bit more blue, and it goes like this sometimes. That's not going as dark as I'd want it to, but that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna end up adding a little bit of blue to that as well now. Seems to be that the blue's less powerful, so usually after I add a bit of brown I can get away with adding very little blue. And it's just not going as dark as I'd like it to at the moment. So maybe we can add a different colour to that and get that a bit darker, but I don't really want to mess it up a little bit. I mean, yeah, they cost a bloody fortune and stuff like that, but aren't they like reimbursed by the alliance, or are they all personal Titans and stuff now? I don't know, because people made, you know, over the last couple of years, people have made so much money that you rarely see anyone flying around in cheap stuff anymore. Like mostly people are just in the shiny stuff like all the time now, you know. Um, like I used to see Thrashers a lot in Goon Space and Swipples and stuff like that. I don't see them anymore, or not that often at all. I see just cruisers or um, other sort of like larger ships. So again, just gonna try and pick out the detail here. sort of like isolate that armor plate a bit. Ah, so you don't get fittings. That's horrifying considering what I've seen some of them how I've seen some of them fitted. You know. We've still got this bit here, which I wanted to sort of like preserve, and then these uh, again. These are gonna have to come in. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to bring them in with acrylic and go that sort of route. This needs to be darkened down a lot. Again, this bit isn't too bad. I'm not worrying about it too much. Um, yeah, yeah. Pods have got a lot more expensive for anyone who's sort of like playing the game on a more serious level. Um, that's just for everyone, you know. But at the same time, you know, it used to be like if you had like 150 million skill points, you used to have to pay like a lot anyway, you know. So Jesus, that is a lot of titans. So this is the point where I'm just gonna sort of like randomly pick out bits of details that don't actually exist or might exist depending on your point of view or what you see here. This is very sort of like loose uh, plating, sort of like suggestions here, um, and I kind of wanna leave a little line here, but I kind of don't, because that's all pretty much white or grey. That isn't really important to me, and I kind of wanted more of this to be dark, dark, dark sort of colours. There is a bit of a block here, so I'm gonna go here. Just like a something that pops up out of the top of the ship, I guess. Um, and yeah, we're just gonna go like that, and then so do you know who's got the Azrael? Somebody I know that somebody's got um, one of them at the moment. I think maybe the goons are in it were the first to make one. Yeah, had to be in it, didn't it? You know, I know a lot of people went over to in it because they wanted to use their titans and their supers and stuff without any fear of being you know, shot at basically. Um, this bit's a bit, I don't know why, but for some reason it feels like this is wrong. You know, I know I've got this bit here, and then this bit here, and there's a little bit. This is why, folks, you need to like mark out your you know the details that you want to pick out. You really need to mark out properly. Otherwise, you're going to end up in a position where you're going to be like me, and now you're playing for, you're not really sure where you want to be with the details. Um, so so you're probably just going to end up like making it up and hoping for the best. Like I know this is gonna probably this bit's gonna just go black, and this there is a grey thing here that I sort of like messed up earlier, and this goes very pointy um, into this armor set of armor plates just on the side of the ship here. Yeah, I'm actually not a big fan of snuff. Um, but I'm not, surprisingly enough, as much as as I do. I feel that Goons are probably one of the better, larger alliances. There's a lot about Sov and Sov and blocks in particular that I don't really enjoy. I feel like there is a point where you can sort of like ruin a game by just having like being like super organized and that. Like for instance, Fraternity are incredibly good at shooting at people that just come into their systems. Like I find it. I go into fraternity space and it's just impossible. Um, I might catch someone, but they've got like they've got a very fast sort of reaction to anyone in their space, um, which makes it not fun for me. Which I guess is what they want to do, really. I mean, that's the idea, isn't it? They don't want me in their space because they want to just rat and do what they're doing. Um, so these are like some little lines that I'm just entering that probably some of these aren't going to be accurate, but it's not that I want them to be accurate. I just want some of this to be suggestive of detail as opposed to actual detail. Like the thick black lines around, or the very dark lines around some of this. They're definitely looking more like a croissant, yeah? It should have been Galenti, shouldn't it? I mean, and then we've got some of this back detail here. Um, that I'm sort of like missing this line. There's a line here where there's a piece that goes all the way up here, and okay. So we're just going to get a bit of water on the brush. Sometimes I just do this in the corner, and I just kind of want to bring some shade in here. it's like this bit. I kind of want to push it. Hey, Rule. I kind of want to push these sort of detailed areas out a little bit by putting a little bit of shading in, and I'm going to go over those with an actual colour in later. And the same here. I'm just going to put in like a light shade. Oh, okay. That should do. For now, this isn't that colour. There is quite a lot of a darker colour going on here. See what most of that sort of like detail I put in now is just disappearing. But that doesn't matter, because at least I know what I was going to do in that sort of like general area now. And just get a bit of blue. Oh no, I've got a bit of blue in this palette anyway. Hey, Real, how's it going? How's the you back from work and getting ready for your solo PvP now, yeah? Yeah. Honestly, mate, it is. I do prefer the solo PvP, but I seem to be better at painting than I am at PvP. So I'll just leave that with you guys to figure out what I mean by that. But no, I find I'm struggling lately trying to get the fights I want and stuff like that. And then some of these pictures, some of these pieces here, they are like a color that is not that color. Maybe a little bit bluer. Oh, okay, we'll go with that one. And so all of this bit here that I sort of like left out, there was a reason for that. Um, and I just wanted to sort of yep, okay. Again, you can see that I've done that quite loose. Oh yeah, did you get like any good fights? Like, did you get a really good fight? Oh, nice. It's always nicer when you get a gang though, and you manage to separate one and get one or two and get some kills like that. I always sort of but it takes so long. So there's a lot more experience and stuff now in the game, which makes it very difficult to separate players from their gangs now. Sometimes they just don't want to. Well, I think one of the last streams I watched was that they had that Simi, and they just aren't coming off a Simi. You know? Yeah, yeah. Where were you? Like Delve or something? I'm just gonna turn the mic down. So. Yeah, but even a simi, even a simi can help like a frigate sort of rep through. But yeah, you killed the Maulus navy. I guess they're a bit more squishier than I originally thought they were. Then I didn't realise that they were squishy. So usually if I see a logi on grid, I'm trying to pull stuff from to like at least 70, 80 away, especially a simi because it's just really they're really fast, aren't they? You know. Yeah, that is true. I'm too used to being in a Tyrannus. I really need to, branch out a little bit more and fly some other ships and stuff. So right now I'm just going to go with some of the camouflage now. I've picked a colour. I'm going to go with it. Uh, you know, and this is quite a watery colour, and that should give it the effect that I sort of like want, rather than it being a solid sort of colour. It should dry in places better, or more solid in some places than others, which is what I kind of want. Yeah, I do really like the small ships though. Personally, I used to fly like a lot of the larger ships, but with today's meta and stuff, I just feel they're a little bit more easier to catch and kill, like so I don't tend to fly them a lot at the moment. I do like the stabber, but for some reason I seem to be having trouble breaking anything in the stabber, and I know it's not skills, so it's got to be the fit. I usually run with a two small newts fit, so I'm guessing I need to just go for damage fits more than anything. Yeah, yeah. Saw some other people saying that as well, saying just go for the extra damage and stuff, over the newts. Because you think that the newts for ratters is great, but then when you're just trying to get a fight, you're not really attacking ratters anyway, are you? Or you might be attacking ratters, but you're trying to pull other ships, and the two small nukes ain't really as useful against the gang as the rapid lights. Yeah, I've got to get used to ESS stuff. Still, even though I fly a dual prop Tyrannus, you'd think I'd be used to dual propping stuff, but yeah, I think a lot of people in those areas kind of like uh, are used to defending as well. It's always nice when you come across players who aren't really that experienced, because it just gives you like a nice kill. I shouldn't really say that really, because you know. And how do you feel about the changes now to the rapid lights? So basically, I'm applying this paint by dipping it, and that gives me a bit of liquid every time, a bit of paint every time, which sort of like helps me increase the sort of pigment in the area. And then I'm drawing it away from areas that I don't want, and if I put too much on, I'm pulling it into the black bit. Um, doesn't need to be that accurate, but it's nice when you sort of like make it sort of at least a little bit accurate. Yeah, I figured that as well. Like maybe there'd be more heavy launcher caracals now as well, so that they become a more valid target as well. Because they before rapid lights, I remember caracals were quite vulnerable, well, extremely vulnerable to frigates, and it used to be like, oh yeah, you can kill a frigate, a caracal easily with a frigate because they just couldn't hit them. And then rapid lights came out, and heavy launcher fit caracals are just not a thing uh, anymore. So I'm kind of hoping that that changes now. So I've got a feeling this ship is going to require a lot of like little touching ups and stuff uh, compared to some of the other ships I've been doing recently, which I'm fine with. Oh, okay. You can say. I'll just take names out of this chat. I'll just take everyone's names out of this chat, and I'll enter them into like a hat, and then I'll give them away to the person I pick out. Um, I might have a little way to figure it out, but yeah, I'll just grab your names from the chat and just give it out. I'll keep things simple then, and then you can go to sleep. What is that? So you can see the camouflage actually does sort of help quite a lot, bring out the flavour of the ship. Um, to be honest, and then hopefully I can improve on that by bringing in some more details. Do you know, I made a cup of tea when I started this, and I haven't touched it. I've got keep your fingers crossed for me. That's all I'm saying. You know, uh, yeah, keep your fingers crossed. So so far so good, but yeah, you never know. I've lost some of the detail here again, but that's alright. I kind of wanted to lose that so I can and this is more. Okay, and again, I'm going to darken this little area down here. I'm going to probably end up lightening some of this up with acrylics, because I feel like I've gone a bit wrong. Sort of in a few places, like here, for example. That's just not really going the way I wanted it to. So it's a bit of a messy puddle here. So that's probably going to get corrected. And this sort of like colour here, I'm not very happy with either. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed that you win the hell print there, Bex. But I'm pretty much at this point. I'm pretty much very much at the point where I'd usually stop and be like, right, where am I going with this? What is it I'm trying to I'm trying to achieve? Which details do I want to pull out? And usually that takes me a couple of hours or whatever. Like, you know, sat there. Sometimes I'll just stare at the bloody thing for like quite a long time. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm happy with the results so far, and yeah, we need to bring out some of the details here, and some of the details here, and that should hopefully bring it out. But realistically, it's this part here that is the main focus, and I kind of want to tidy this bit up as well, so it kind of really does bring out the ship a lot more. Good night, mate. You have a nice sleep. If you'll forgive me, gents, I will be back in. I'll be back in a minute. I just need to use the loo. guys. Sorry about that. I was just getting myself sorted. I'm sort of like I'm letting it dry a little bit. I'm trying to figure out my next step as well on that main one. But I think I might switch over to the other one for a moment. In the top left one, I think it is. And put some more work on that one and see where we're going with that one, and then we'll switch back to this one in a minute. So if you just bear with me, I will pull this down. Is that where we are? Oh, I could have just left that and pull this down here. Okay. So just switch over. Yep. Okay. So this one's pretty much in. I'm just going to be putting a lot of dark lines on this one now, and trying to figure out where we are with this one. Again, I want to be very loose, but I also want to include some of the details. There to show. So for anyone who sees, Will's got a really nice channel. He's a solo PvPer, so always something interesting to watch there. If you visit his channel, if you're interested in PvP, I'd give it a watch. He does quite a lot of well, what I'd like, what the sort of stuff that I like anyway. Although it can be quite difficult to find fights in that with that sort of stuff. I still think it's very worthwhile. I know they say you can't really solo in Eve, but I disagree. There's quite a lot of activity you can do solo. They've got these little, and I don't really want to do it, but I really have to put this sort of detail in right there. Any new covert ships? I don't think they've got a new Drake though. I remember you used to like the Drake, didn't you? Or was that just because it was the only ship that you'd get SRP'd? So I'm hoping that's not too much dark colours there. But you know, we've got these the ones with light sources are actually like quite interesting to sort of paint as well. Sometimes they can be very difficult, very challenging. But that's kind of like the fun, isn't it? You know. And again, I'm just going to go in a bit loose with this sort of background bit. I know that this bit's up here. What was that? Stealing stuff? I remember you got a what was it? Some sort of capital ship for dirt cheap, didn't you? Because somebody pointed it out to you, and you were like, "Oh look, I'll buy that." I think you were quicker getting to it than they were, if I remember rightly. It was like a carrier for 50 mil or 100 mil or something, if I remember rightly. That was it, yeah. But you could get these sorts of things on trade orders sometimes. Like some people are absolutely insane and just don't check what they're buying. Oh, sorry, what they're selling. Which sort of like leads to all sorts of uh, amazing deals, you know. So where are these circles? Um, I mean, okay, so they're about there. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, guys, just mumbling to myself a minute while I try and figure out where some of these missing details are. So I'm gonna put that there, and then the next one I'm gonna put here. And then the next one is going here. We got a little bit of a black line here. I'm doing the thick black lines here because I don't want to mess around with this too much. Because yeah, it seems to not be the brush to really do those sort of like fine lines with. Still sitting in like you haven't sold it. I would have thought you sold it straight away. Oh, okay. So I'm like focusing too much. I'm sort of like hyper focused on this little area here, and I shouldn't be really, because that's a lot smaller than I'm actually giving it credit for. And you know, I know there's a little line here. Doesn't I don't need to spend an hour trying to pick out that detail when I can just fill it in and go in with some acrylics later on to try and pull that out. Um, which again is sort of like, I mean, it's not really ideal from a watercolorist perspective, you know, but we are trying to stream something, so we do want to sort of like speed it up a little bit, don't we? Um, there's this circle bit here. I can just about make out the pencil marks, and that has a little bit of blacker or darker sort of space there. And again, there's a really tight line here. And a lot of these lines are going soft and then light. Sorry, they've got a hard edge and then they're going, you know, into a soft edge. So it's a bit more difficult to apply. So I'm trying to push it into those corners, and not destroy it too much. But I definitely want to soften some of these lines here. I mean, it's starting to look like I'm using the wrong colour, because that's very. This is a lot more of a greyer blue than anything else. Whereas up here, these are actually very. A lot darker. So it's just about, again, I'm just putting in the details. Sorry, I've gone a bit quiet. I was just sort of focusing, just sort of like focusing on getting that little bit and trying to pull out some of the detail. I can actually see I've missed some detail here, and I think it's because it's quite small. But again, what we do notice is that most people don't actually notice these missing details. So this panel here is split. That's why. So I'm just going to roughly put a little. There we go. Again, the importance of trying to pick out the details you want to include and having a solid plan before you start streaming coming into effect there. You know, again, I do want to keep it kind of loose, but it's kind of some of these details that you have to keep just to sort of like give a better indication of what it is you're trying to paint. So I know that there's a big circle here. I'm gonna just plonk it here for now, and it does come right up, and it does come right up under this plate. I can see some of the highlights actually here are oh, it should have been a bit further up, I guess. So I can see there's my little guide right there, but it's okay. We'll just sort of extend it here and make this a little bit bigger. And then we're going to add some sort of some rough detail in here that doesn't really, that is kind of there but not really there. Again, I'm starting to feel like I might have bit off more than I can chew, but that's good in a lot of ways, because it's always good to challenge ourselves. There we go. And sorry, just a little bit there. Yep, I hope you have. I hope you get some great fights tonight, Real, and I will probably watch you after I finished here, as I did last time. So, but we shall see. I'm hoping that this sort of like goes really well. So more dark I've got to stop calling it black because it's not really black, but it's the darkest colour I make. Do you know what? I'm going to add quite a lot of blue. Oh, probably more than I planned to add there. But that's fine. That's fine because I want it to be like a cool grey, not a not like a brown colour. I'm just gonna put this here, and this is where again when I was when I started earlier, I sort of like put a bunch of colours on. I tried not to go too heavy with it, and I ended up causing problems now because I've got areas that I'm not sure what I was doing with. So I know this bit's black, this bit's like dark sort of colour, and then I guess this bit's like a little channel there. So we'll do that. This bit's got like a little. Okay, yeah, well we can bring that up and we'll do that. And then this bit's got like a greyish, like a really greyish thing. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to actually just black that entire area down. And then okay, yeah, so bring that up. Yep. Okay, just like that. I feel like Tommy Cooper when I said that. If you don't know Tommy Cooper is, I do apologise. He's just an old British comedian who used to do magic tricks, and I think he said just like that, if I remember rightly. Oh, so we got a little V sort of shape here. I think that is what we want it to do. Oh, okay, perfect. Well, not perfect, but you know. We're getting there. For now, I'm trying not to worry too much about some of these some of the details up here because that's going to be mostly brought in with highlights and stuff like that. And a lot of these little lines that you're seeing me put in are really just guidelines for me. Yeah, happy mistakes. Little happy mistakes that we're just gonna work into the pattern with us. I'm gonna just bring this here. I can see that there's a little gap there. Yeah, little happy mistakes. And then we'll see about just being sort of like really loose with this bit a second, so I can actually see some acrylic going on this bit later. and just want to kind of trying to keep it loose as well, without sort of like not including detail. Okay. And then there's these bits that are mostly black. Oh yeah, is your kid good at painting? Some of this is gonna just like, so you see this little, if I just put a little bit there to sort of like indicate that little bit of light in, then it gives me a reference point. And it's the same here as well. Like if I just, then that gives me a little reference point again, and that means I can fill a lot of this in, like this. So, and then down. And then it means I don't need to focus too much on that sort of like area, so to speak. I know that this line's going to be there, and yeah, we're just going to sort of focus on a lot of this stuff not really existing. Again, there's a little bit of camo here, but not a lot. And there's quite a few little sort of like little nooks and crannies that I can sort of like help to develop that sort of area. But this brush probably isn't the best to do that with. And I need to darken this whole area down anyway, with a bit of a softer sort of light. Sorry, a softer sort of color. And again, that sort of croissant look. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it looks overly like a croissant, but you know, that's what everyone's calling it, so I mean, I guess it does in its own sort of way. Again, I'm probably going a little bit less detailed here, because I know that I'm going to use the acrylic, and this one's kind of like watered down. Quite a lot here. And you can see it's probably the wrong colour as well, because it should be a bit more bluer, and it's not. But you know, doesn't matter. At this point, really doesn't matter. We're just gonna get some blotches and bring them in there, and let's just have a think about what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get the old air dryer on it again. I'm gonna come back to this one now, and let's see if we can get some better sort of colours in here. So, oh, like I said, a lot of this now is it's just trying to find the detail that I didn't want to pick out earlier, and then picking it out now, and pretty much fighting a fire this whole time now, because I didn't want to pick out these details earlier, and I should have done. I should have realistically brought them in a lot sooner than I did, and then gone from there. But instead, I thought, I know, I'll do it sort of like loose and just, relaxed, and one hand in the I do actually have one hand in my pocket, but one hand in my pocket, and just sort of not really worry about how it comes out. And now I'm really worried about how it's gonna turn out, which is pretty normal, to be honest. I think if you've got any arty friends, I think if you speak to them, they'll all say the same thing. Oh, this is a lot more watery than I anticipated. Again, I'm gonna sort of come down to this part and try and bring some sense into this now. Okay. brown here. And bring the dark colours in. Well, actually, should push them out to the corners, really. Apart from this one. So I guess we're pushing this way. And then we'll worry about tidying that up later. Because I'm trying to sort of like create a bit more contrast around there. And this area here. So I need a bit more of a thicker colour in some of these places. And yeah, especially down here. Like I've got a better idea of where my details are going now. But I need a thicker paint. This one's too liquidy to really deal with that. But it does mean I can sort of no, it doesn't mean I can do that. But I thought it could. I thought I could, and I've messed it. Doesn't matter. Happy little mistakes, like you said. And we kind of want to darken this bit up anyway. Yeah, that needs a real darken. Yeah. A little bit more blue in there. And let's just get a bit more heat on there just to dry it up a little bit. think we're at a point where I'm sort of like I'm really sort of like looking at my choices and saying, did I make the right choice there? Did I make the right choice there? And I'm just layering on dark sort of colours right now. Uh, and seeing, you know, where that sort of like takes me. Kind of trying to really want to sort of like darken this background down a bit, um, in quite a few areas. And then there's this front bit that I kind of want to get darkened down as well. And the colour is just not. I need to put more pigment on, which means I need to give it more time to dry. And then probably the best bet for me to do would be actually to start putting on some highlights, because that's also gonna help some of this stand out more. Is the highlights. And hey Vado. Yeah, so the highlights are going to help me really bring out some of the darker areas of this piece, because you know you're gonna see them against that backdrop. And if you give me a minute, I will try and accentuate that point. There is a spot here. So there. I will grab in a minute. And it's just there. And to illustrate my point about contrast, this is very dirty water. So I'm pulling that in now. and I probably am going to lose some of the texture here, but I'm also going to gain some contrast right there. So part of watercolour painting, I guess, is just layering up these types of things. Alright. I mean, I should have made it red really, but at least the colour sort of like matches here now, and I've got a little bit of area to work with. Here. Oh. Again, I'm using this quite a lot. How's it going, Satch? You been busy? Okay, I'm just gonna go and make a tea, so I'm gonna sort of put both of these on the screen a minute. guessing. Okay. Oh, just bear with me, guys. I really just want to make a tea. So if you're in a stream and you've made a comment, just pop your name in there into make a comment or something like that, and then you'll have a chance of winning this. This is actually the 101 of 100, so I got an extra print, and where is it going? This is I actually put a little Goon logo on this one, so that's like it's now a one-off, but it's just a print that I've made painted on. All right. No, yours is will be on its way this week actually. Saj, I've been a bit slack this week and getting stuff off and sorted properly, so I'll send you an extra one as well. I don't have any mine in ship, so so basically from a distance, these tend to look a lot better and stuff. And I'm in this situation now where I'm sort of like deciding on what my next sort of steps are. I wanna. Thanks, Jester, as well. Um, I want to add. I kind of want to add the highlights, but I kind of don't. So I'm in that sort of like weird weird position. And again, I've lost some texture here from my toothbrush spraying, so I'm gonna see if I can add some of those back. That is because you guys are all useless at keeping up with people. Do you both still game though, don't you? I know Rule's been settling down with a family life and stuff like that, and such you've had your own stuff going on, but you still both play games, right? Yeah, the sub will kill the game for like a lot of people. Basically, there's not really a lot you can do it, but you can play for free really if you know what you're doing. You just play for free. Join. I don't know why. I mean, you guys must have Discord, right? Yeah, that tends to be the way. Like, some of the guys, some of the better groups that I've known on. Hey, Tina. Some of the guys on Eve that have done really well as a community have sort of like, they play other games with each other and stuff like that. So um, it sort of like helps them um, stay in touch and stuff like that. But it can be quite difficult. And I'm having a real issue now creating the type of contrast that I want with this image, and I'm really thinking about what my next step is. Now, normally in this situation, I really want to start bringing in some highlights. Um, Nothing too fancy. Like there's the two uh, squares here. So there's one here and one here, and they don't have to be. They're not like massive blocks, but just bringing them in sort of like helps me a bit decide on what sort of like direction I'm gonna take. Some of these here as well. I kind of really want to. It's difficult because I do really want to bring out some of this stuff, some of these colours. How is it going, Tina? You enjoying life? Nice to see you on the stream again, by the way. Yeah, you got to find. I suppose like finding the right finding because sometimes in Eve you're playing the game and you meet people and stuff like that, but you don't really or the infrastructure's not really there to play other games with them. Like I've made that mistake with a few of my channels. To be honest with you, I've like they've pretty much been very Eve focused. Um, and I guess the one of the things that I should have been doing would be to actually uh, make it less Eve focused. If that's the right way of saying things. Oh, nice one. Yeah, we've got this going out, a print as well, guys. Like if you're in the channel and you're listening, just pop in a comment and I'll grab your names from the channel and from the channel list, and basically that'll be going out to a random one of you. So keep an eye out on your messages and stuff like that. So we're gonna have a real issue here with some of these highlights, because I don't want them to be too highlighty. That's probably not the right word, but you know, it is what it is. Not in this bit. There's a little line there, and then this one's got this line, these lines. Now I'm gonna do the highlighted areas in white, but I can come in with a different colour at another point. With some acrylic, and just sort of like lighten them up a little bit, or change the colour on them a little bit, um, as I've done in the past. And I think we're going to go over the 3 hours here, especially when it comes to like some of these areas here like this, because this is very much not the colour I want it to be, and I kind of want to give it a sort of like that sort of look. And of course, when we're dealing with acrylics over the top of watercolours, I do generally prefer it to be quite transparent. It's the same here. This one's got a bit of a grey thing going on that I've sort of missed out. G Money? What's G Money? Isn't that a rapper? Hi Pete, by the way. So we're gonna go back into a loose thing. We can see that's got a little symbol there. A couple of little lines. Another little line here. I don't actually remember him. G Money sounds like a rapper name. And obviously, like, we're just gonna be bringing in some of these like grey colours here, just to sort of accentuate certain parts. So the Scottish lad was the one I used to find funny as hell. What was his name? Your more the guy who got his golem deleted in a high sec belt for aggressing someone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just applying like I don't you can't actually see it. This is a sort of mixture of like a coffee colour and white. Because I wasn't really happy with this area, I want to try and bring it to a different colour, uh, which is going to be difficult because I want to lighten it up a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Of course, it's because I'm using the acrylic. I'm going to pull from one side in to where I want the colour to sit, just like I would with um, watercolours, really. And then just to sort of like change that colour a little bit more to my liking. That should sort of like help me quite a lot. And then again, there's some of these areas that I do want to highlight, but I don't really, you know. Yeah, like that, and then a little bit of colour there. So this is where I'm putting in more detail than I would usually prefer. And to be honest, this is actually where I don't know if you can see it, but this is where this camera now should be picking up some more of those, more of the details that you couldn't actually see the last time when I was painting, because it just weren't, it just wasn't really capable of picking those up. So again, some of these colors are just gonna and then let's just bring some of these in. These are actually like a greyish colour, but I'm gonna do this colour instead. And the same here. I mean that was a really nice sort of colour here. Well, not there specifically, but yeah. So we've got the area there that we're going to bring in some highlights with, well, not highlights, little lights and stuff like that. And there's this red area that I've sort of like lost here, which I kind of want a cadmium red for. This is where like the details get a bit more. This is where it can get a bit more. What's the word? A bit more. A bit more messy when we're applying sort of like the paint to some of these areas here. So like for example here, you can see it's just lifting off the paint, which I didn't really want to do. I just want to apply it. I just wanted to apply it on top of that, really, more than anything else. But it is what it is, and kind of want to bring these into the sort of like reddish sort of colour as well. Oh, didn't want that much red. And again here. There's a little orangey thing that's going more pink than I'd like it. So I'm just going to bring in a bit of acrylic orange. We'll end up with like a peachy colour, but doesn't really matter at this point. I want it watery. And bring a little bit of red now into this. So a lot of this now is just color matching and then bringing out some of the areas. Like here. again, some watered down areas that I'm pulling that paint to this spot because that's where I want that little bit of brighter colour, and it's just watered down acrylic. That at some point I'm gonna have to add more to. See you later, Satch. Again, there's a little bit there. A little bit there. A little bit here. And sometimes it's kind of like really difficult to pick out some of these spots because they are. I should have really picked them out earlier. Um, and again, I'm gonna grab some white. Only this time I'm gonna add a little. I don't even need to do that. So I've got it here. Got a little yellow ochre here. Mm. And this is just to help bring out some of these little And just sort of like highlighting some of the little edges around here with the sort of like uh, watery colour that just sort of like should hopefully accentuate sort of like the edges a little bit, uh, just to sort of, I don't know, it just sort of like helps a little bit to bring out some of those edges. Just for me, at least, I like the little look it gives. Obviously, some of it is going to be a bit not as we like. So now we can add a little some of these little, because there's a couple here for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but we will. Bring more of this out as we go. But at this point, it's like a really sort of slow processing, just bringing out some of these little details that I don't really know if I want to be showing still. Where are we? And I mean, we still got this sort of like these sort of like pink areas here. Hey, Spicy. See you later, all. See you later, Tina. Oh, thanks, mate. Hey, hippie. Guys, if you want to win this, if you want to win yourself a print, this is a special edition print. It's literally it's the 100 and first of 100 because for some reason they gave me an extra print, and I've painted a little goon on it, so it is the odd one out. It's yeah. So I'm gonna basically go into the chat when I finished and pull a name out, and then I'll message them and send them a message. I don't know if I could do that actually, but you have to 50. Yeah. Are you in Goon, Spicy? I don't think you are you? No, I don't believe you're a Goon. Am I wrong? Well, the best way to get back into painting is just paint, really. I didn't paint. I haven't painted for 6 months, and then I started painting on stream again. And so I do go through like periods of time where I don't really paint. Before I started painting Eve stuff, I hadn't painted for about 6 years, I think it was. Uh, so yeah, there's. It's always a bit, difficult. Sometimes we actually come back a little bit stronger. We've actually done more, or our brains sort of like figured stuff out that we previously hadn't really been able to figure out, or something. A bit like playing a game, sometimes you've got to put it down to get better at it, or to get the result you want. Uh, and as always, just paint stuff you're interested in. That's what got me back into painting, was painting Eve stuff. I was doing a lot of security, I think, at the time. I was doing a security job, and I was playing a lot of Eve. I was doing trying to do the solo PvP sort of thing, and then I started painting Eve ships, and it sort of like went from there, really. I'm not even that good, but I enjoy it to a degree, and yeah, I do enjoy it. I like it when something comes together really really well. Um, like right now, I'm just applying some darker lines that probably aren't even there, just to add some uh, well, not colour, just to add some flavour. over, I guess. Aha. Okay. Yeah, so there is a big block of just black there. And ceramics? How do you paint with ceramics? That's that sounds difficult. Now I've got to bring this out a little bit, which means I need some shade, some really dark sort of colours to accentuate that. Okay. That is a matter of opinion because a lot of people like various styles of artwork. Um, so it can be very it can be very challenging to sort of like our own stuff as well in a lot of ways. Um, yeah, it can be very challenging to like our own stuff. Uh, as opposed to other people's. I'm getting crap all over my hands here. And to be honest, a lot of people find they always they always feel like their artwork's not as good as it should be. I don't think mine is near anywhere near as good as it should be. Really, but you know, I'm still sort of like enjoying it. So you know, and as long as I enjoy it, that's kind of all that matters, really. Where did I put that? I just need a little bit of this white and a little bit of this colour we were using earlier. Is that right? To make a coffee colour. That's not the colour I wanted, but for this bit it will do. Oh yeah, forgot what I actually wanted to do, and I've gone off on a tangent, and I actually want to bring something here. There was a line. It's always a way. I get distracted by something, and then I realise I've not actually been doing the bit that I wanted. So how do you do? How exactly do you do? How do you paint with ceramics exactly? So I'm still on a highlight stage. Obviously, it's actually quite good because you can actually see the highlights today. Um, so the reason that is because I'm actually using a little app called um, DroidCam, and that is attached to my OBS. So it's um, OBS something or other. I'm getting distracted again. See, this bit is where I want to be. That little bright little. So I'm actually using my smartphone camera to play this, to do this today, which has turned out quite nicely uh, for me. Today at least. I'm quite happy with the way it's turned out. Um, so okay, that sounds quite complicated. To be honest with you, it's got like a little bit of a watery watery pink for these little lines here. That's not quite bright enough. Oh, I've got a little bit of red there, a little bit of orangey sort of colour. Colour coming in there. So this bit does actually round like that and then drops. So I guess what's going on here is I'm not seeing the bit that I want to see. And I just need to bring it around. With some darker colours. There we go. Well, you know, it is what it is. So I need a little bit of white here, and just that, just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that if it's on stream. I'm just using again acrylic with a little bit of the colours that I was using in previously, and again this is just another. This is going to be for highlights on the back here. Hopefully this will work to sort of secure some of that missing detail in the back that I've kind of lost. So these little followed by a line, yeah, and then we're kind of missing this little bad boy here. Is he here? Ah, and a couple of little. Just a bit, yeah. And because I'm using this tiny little brush now, put a couple of little details into this. Well, I hope you like it, Pete. I've actually got, I don't know if you've seen the whole piece, uh, but there's actually a bit more to this one. like this was mainly a test to see if the Droid cam would work, and I've actually got two on here. It's actually an A3 piece, and yeah. So I've still got to finish this one, but I'm on nearly 4 hours now, and my back is killing me. So I think I'm probably gonna end. I'm gonna end the stream there, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some names from this chat, and then so I'll have a little chat. But that's where I am so far after like nearly 4 hours of painting. My back is absolutely killing me. Uh, so you guys got to let me know what you think. And I've got to get these names down. I'll put them in a. It's uh. Okay, so there's okay, so let's go with number 9. Hmm. Kind of weird. Um, I don't know if I'm counting these names wrong or not, because it's not giving me a proper thing. I really need to figure out how to use Twitch properly. Uh, um, how do I get those names? Let's have a look. Yeah, probably. I don't actually know how to look at that sort of stuff, and I'm just I'm just sort of trying to figure out now how to go back in this stream so I can figure something out. But I guess if it's live, you can't. Um, so yeah, ladies and gents, that's where we are at the moment. I think on my next stream, probably tomorrow. In fact, actually, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. So tomorrow's stream, I'll finish this one up, and yeah, I'll figure that out in a minute. I know I can do it if I go back in time and stuff like that, or I might need to stream the back in time. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I'm going to finish off here, and then tomorrow I'm going to finish off this one in the corner, and you know, put some more details on it, give it a sign, and I will message the person who's won the print. Alright, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I will. How do I do that raid thing? I think it's raid uh, real. Let's go to. Give me a streamer's chat to raid. Let's see. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you later. Thank you.